What's up, guys? It is JZNES back again with another video. Today, here we're talking about another movie. So we're doing another movie review. This is for Jay-Z versus Detective Pikachu. So, yeah, I remember when this movie first came out back in 2019. I remember it was announced like way before that, and then we didn't hear anything about it, I think, for a while, and I think it went through some troubles development-wise. And then the sequel is the same way. They never really made a sequel, which is really odd to me, considering that's like making the Mario Brothers movie, the Super Mario Bros. Movie that they just made, which they've kind of been hinting like they're going to do a Zelda one now, which would be fucking awesome. But just saying there would never be a sequel to that movie. This movie was a big deal. I think it did like really well. It made like hundreds of millions of dollars, you know? Like it was everything when it came out. And it was like the best video game movie at the time it came out. And then there was Sonic, and that was really good. And, you know, and there was Sonic 2, which blew that out of the water. So, you know, and I've reviewed all of these movies so far. But I'm kind of going in order of ones that I can think of are like some of the best video game movies. I mean, not necessarily this isn't like the order that I've done them, but just, you know, some of the better ones I remember. And I haven't seen Detective Pikachu since like, I don't know, maybe a year or two ago. It's definitely been a little while, maybe 3 years ago. I don't know. It was, you know, and then the time I'd seen it before that was in the theaters. So, I don't remember if I saw it more than once in the theaters, but I remember me and my friends at least went to go see it once in the theaters together. And I remember us all really liking it. And my friend Jameson, who didn't even know as much about Pokemon back then, even enjoyed it. And then he eventually played Pokemon Go and stuff, which, you know, got him more into it. But what I thought was cool, first to start, like, I watched the Blu-ray, obviously, this time around. There, on the title screen, they play this theme that, like, they play a couple of times in the movie when they're having, like, emotional moments. The main character and Pikachu. God, how can I not remember his name? I just watched this, like, 2 hours ago. Not even that long. It was, like, an hour ago. Tim and Pikachu, when they're having, like, a heart-to-heart, a couple of times they play this theme during the movie and they put it on the title screen, and I'm like listening to this and I'm like, man, this is a great track, because I was looking for fucking this so I can control my volume on my thing, and I couldn't find it, and I found it after the movie. Anyway, point being, I was listening to that and it was getting me very, like, not nostalgic, but kind of nostalgic. It kind of has like a Pokemon Go feel, like that main theme from Pokemon Go, which, you know, I fucking love Pokemon Go, and especially at the time I was taking a break, but it was still sort of nostalgic to me, so that really got me, you know. But yeah, I mean, this was a big deal when it came out, you know. I mean, it was everywhere, and people who hadn't thought about Pokemon in a while, probably since Pokemon Go, you know, like 3 years prior, we're starting to think about Pokemon again. So, this is right before Generation 8, too, as well. Generation 7, actually right before Generation 8, because Generation 8 would happen later that year. Generation 7 had already happened. There's some Gen 7 Pokemon in there. But they do this, like, realistic sort of style, or they tried to be more realistic, like you can see on Pikachu there. If they have any of the other, yeah, they have some other Pokemon on the back there that you can see. Like, it's kind of an odd art style, but once you get used to it, it's actually really cool and charming. The only one I was like kind of like off put by is like Ludicolo, I think, but the rest of them, like on this watch through, actually looked really representative of like a more realistic version of some of those Pokemon, which is cool, you know. Like, they actually got the art style to mesh well with a more realistic style too, and I just thought, hey, this is cool, you know. And especially back then, it was really cool to see. But like one of the main things about the movie is that there's not a lot of battling and stuff because they're in the city where battling is like illegal or whatever. It's not really a story about a Pokemon trainer and his journey, you know? I know we've seen that 1,000 times before, but I want to see a movie where they use these characters and go and do a Pokemon trainer's journey, you know, capturing Pokemon and that kind of thing. That would be really cool. Um, so yeah, I want to see that. But they haven't done that yet, and I don't think they will do that because it's been, you know what, like 4 years now? I mean, okay, maybe. I don't know. Last I heard, you know, I don't know. It's not happening, I guess. Not that it's not happening, just that there's not much updates on this. You know, like, that's the thing me and my friends were talking about. As soon as we got out of this movie, we were like, yeah, that was good, but, like, imagine, like, a real Pokemon journey with this. And also on a sequel, how would they do... Okay, spoilers for Detective Pikachu, by the way. How would they do a sequel to Detective Pikachu now that the Pikachu is no longer Ryan Reynolds? You know, at the end of the movie, we see Ryan Reynolds, which was really cool, by the way. That caught us all off guard in the theaters. Ryan Reynolds was there, and you actually see him in flashbacks a bunch of times, but he's like got a cap on, and like you can't really see any of his distinctive features. He's always got his back turned, or he's like face down or something, so you don't see him. But it's implied that that's his dad, Ryan Reynolds, you know, who is this Pikachu, and you're like, how is that possible? Well, I mean, you should know because you've seen the movie. Spoilers, right? Mewtwo has this power. There's Mewtwo in this movie, right? The bad guys capture him. It's not Team Rocket, but they have this thing called R. So it's like, that's a reference to Team Rocket. Like, why aren't they Team Rocket? I don't know. Anyway. Just kind of like in the first movie, they captured him. And, but the difference is this guy is, like, disabled. And he wants to, like, get into Mewtwo because he thinks Pokemon are the evolution of humans or something. Like, you know, like, that's the next step, is putting our brains into their bodies and embodying all their power or whatever, which is insane. And he does that by releasing this R gas, this power to make these Pokemon go like berserk or whatever. Actually, come to think of it, it's very similar to Zootopia. You know how they do the thing where it like makes them revert back to like a primal kind of thing. That's supposed to be getting a sequel too, by the way. I'm glad it wasn't just that show because I didn't watch the show, but you know, like I heard it wasn't that great. Anyway, point being that it's very similar to that, where Pokemon just start going berserk because of that. And so the whole movie is like Tim and his Pikachu trying to figure that out, and also chasing down his dad, because he gets this call at the beginning of the movie. There's like this joke with him and his friend, and it's like meant to establish this whole Tim doesn't want a partner Pokemon kind of thing. And you know, of course, he ends up with Pikachu, which was his dad's Pokemon. His dad was this detective or whatever. So the whole thing is them trying to track down his dad, because they still think that he's alive. And then the police chief guy or the detective guy or whatever tells him, like, no, he died. Like, here's the footage, you know? Like, even your dad couldn't survive that. But then the other guy shows him, like, a more in-depth hologram version, and he blames Mewtwo. He puts Mewtwo as, like, frames Mewtwo as, like, the villain in this scenario. Like, Mewtwo did it. But it turns out Mewtwo was just trying to help him the whole time. So it's, like, all these twists, you know? And, of course, there's that line, like, oh, it's a twist. It's very twisty. So, yeah, basically his whole plan is to, like, get inside the Mewtwo and live as a Mewtwo or something. Okay, like, sure. So that's the whole plot of the movie, and they're chasing after that. They go to this lab where the Mewtwo broke out of to try to find answers and stuff. There's this girl, she's like basically Misty, if Misty was a reporter. She looks very similar to Misty, is why everyone thought, hey, that's probably Misty, you know? They call back, she has a Psyduck. They call back to a lot of familiar things from the games, you know? Much like the Mario movie. There's Pokemon everywhere, in every frame. Very similar to the Mario movie. You can just like look and point out all of the references. You know, I can't name them all because they're they're everywhere. Hoot Hoot. There's lots of Gen 5 Pokemon for some reason. Maybe that's meant to imply this is like New York City or something. It's called Rhyme City, though. It's like Mr. Mime. He's weird, and it's like a whole scene of him like miming stuff, and they're trying to figure out what he's saying. It's lots of like stupid adult jokes in here too. Not like adult jokes, but like, you know, they're like, it's like that edgy humor. Like, it's a PG movie, but you know, of course they've got to throw in like the like shove it and up yours and stuff. It's just shit like that. Like, not too bad, but just like childish stuff, you know? Like, if I give Mario one thing, you know, and in hindsight and all that, you give Mario one thing is that they didn't rely solely on childish humor, which I cannot believe I'm saying that because of Illumination. But here in this movie, they kind of do have some of that humor. Also, the dialogue is just very odd. It's supposed to be funny. It is funny a lot of times. You know, with Ryan Reynolds, he's in Justice Smith, they're going back and forth, and they're always funny, but, yeah, I don't know, a lot of it is just odd. It really doesn't, and a lot of it, too, is it just doesn't always feel like dialogue you'd hear, like, in a Pokemon environment, or a setting. I guess because Pokemon has been such this, like, kids thing up until this point, they never really made dirty jokes or like weird things like that, you know? It's just like to hear that, then see these like more realistic Pokemon and stuff in this odd setting, and there's little battling, and that's like kind of illegal. It's just kind of a really weird setting for a live action sort, quote unquote, Pokemon movie, you know? Like, I'm glad it turned out better than like a lot of the Disney live action movies, because those all really suck because they're just trying to really adapt material, and it never works because the originals are always better. They're always more vibrant. Is there any one of those that are even remotely as good as the originals? You know, it's not like a, you know, of course the whole Little Mermaid thing that's been a whole controversy. It's not even that. It's not like a racist thing or anything like that. I don't care. She can be black for all I care. That's cool. Great. Representation. You know, I'm all for that, obviously. But at the end of the day, it's just like, the movie is like 2 hours something long, and then it's like, the original is like an hour long, and it's dull, and it doesn't have any color, and then the original is so colorful. So, all that to say, I'm not reviewing Little Mermaid here. I haven't seen the fucking new one, but I'm not gonna watch that. I don't care. I saw part of The Lion King, and that was an abysmal tragedy to my childhood. The Lion King is one of my favorite fucking movies of all time, and they did that to it. Made it lifeless and husk of its former self. It's awful. It's terrible. This movie is not that. So that's impressive. The fact that they didn't squeeze all of the life out of it and throw it aside like the Disney remakes did is fucking impressive as shit. So I had a good time with this movie. I like this movie. I think this is a good movie. A lot of the visual stuff is cool, especially when they're doing the battles and whatnot. I like the storyline. The storyline is good. The characters are good. Everything about it is fun. The dialogue's a little weird sometimes, but you know, it's funny. A lot of it has a good mysterious quality to it the first time you watch it. I thought it was cool how the Ditto was the lady. That's neat. There's stuff like that in here, and it's just lots of good little reveals and I don't know, just stuff to reference back to Pokemon. But it also feels kind of like an alternate version of Pokemon. They talk about Kanto and stuff. You see all these references to like Sinnoh, and every region is well represented, you know, like there somehow. There's Charmanders, there's Tricos, they're everywhere, you know? All this kind of cool stuff. It's like if Pokemon really existed in our world, in a sense. But I think a lot of the movie is that kind of spectacle, you know? It relies on, some knowledge of Pokemon to really get, like, that nostalgic feel out of it. And then also, you know, it relies on the spectacle of us just being in this world, which is great, and that's cool. not saying that, you know, like, obviously I said the storyline's good and stuff, but there could have been more to it, you know? I don't know. It's not that it missed any of its potential, it's just, I would love, as this is a good proof of concept, you made a good movie out of this, I would love to see something more, you know, something that was more oriented on what Pokemon is focused on. Collecting, battling. We get a little bit of a taste of that all throughout the movie. Like, at the very beginning, his friend is trying to help him catch a Pokemon. It's like, cool. That's like the only time that ever happens in the entire movie. He never goes and catches any more Pokemon or anything. You know, I don't think most people have more than one Pokemon, as far as I could tell. Which is weird. Like, you would probably have more than one Pokemon. You know, like, everyone in the games, I mean, not everyone, but a lot of the people in the games have more than one Pokemon. Like, I don't know. And I know that a lot of that's probably up to animating Pokemon and not wanting them to... But they're usually on screen anyway, so I mean, I'm impressed with what we got. I'm just saying, can you imagine more, you know? A more Pokemon battle-centric thing. Apparently they didn't want to do it because they didn't want to show, like, Pokemon fighting, and they thought that would be too violent or something because they're more realistic. But, like, come on. We've had it in the shows for, like, a while now. Just make it cartoony or something. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how you do that. That's your problem to solve, not mine. But that's what I think I'm speaking for the fans here. That's what the fans want to see, with something more, you know? And I'd be glad to just watch another Detective Pikachu movie too, but I'm just saying the potential is there for something way bigger. This was great. You know, they call back to a lot of the stuff from the games, like I said. Even some musical cues. Pikachu sings the Pokemon theme song from the anime at one point. So that's kind of funny. It has some heart at times, you know, not always, but there's some really nice moments there. And it's about him, Tim there dealing with loss too, and that's kind of nice, and they do touch upon that a lot as well. I don't know if they really went as far with that as they could have, but he's willing to go above and beyond to try and find out what happened to his dad, or trying to figure out this R situation, or just help out, and yeah, I mean, all of that works well, so, you know, at the end of the day, I enjoyed the movie. Pretty much everything about it is good. The visuals, the characters, just, the world, you know? The Pokemon. Everything about it is cool. It's just, I feel like there's so much potential that for something that could happen, you know, more than this. It's weird that they didn't grab that and do something with this universe, you know. It's so odd to me, you know, especially because Pokemon is such a big thing, and especially now it is. I mean, I know it's disappointed me recently a little bit with Generation 9 and all of that, but I still love it in my heart, you know. And this isn't Game Freak's Pokemon. I mean, this is, you know, different. This is a movie studio, Warner Brothers, their Pokemon or whatever, you know. I don't know. Like, obviously Game Freak is going to have some say on it, but I'm just saying, like, they're focused on the games. If they let somebody use the property in a new light, maybe, hey, that's going to be cool, you know, like, I'm down. I just want to see more of that, you know? And it's just weird to me that we haven't gotten more of that. And I don't know if the iron's not hot enough anymore or something, and they just can't, they don't think they would do well to recoup, you know? I mean, they've got other troubles with other shit, you know, this whole fucking, DC stuff has just really not gone well for them. But maybe they need to go back to the well. Look what worked for you. Detective Pikachu. Can we make that happen again? You know, can we do another one of those? Maybe that's where you should be putting your cinematic universe potential. You can't beat Marvel. I mean, maybe at this point you can, because Marvel has really gone downhill, but you know, there's potential there. So, but yeah, like, I liked it overall. Still great on a rewatch, you know, a few years down the line. It was great, especially when it came out. At the time when it came out, it was like one of, if not the best, like, video game movies. And I think we were calling it like the best video game movie at the time. There wasn't a lot of stiff competition back then. But, you know, like now, there's like Sonic 2, there's like Super Mario Brothers movie, which is probably top tier at the moment. But it could still potentially definitely make it in the top 5 of video game movies, you know? So, I'm going to give this movie a 9.5 out of 10. And, yeah, I think it was really good. I'd love to see a sequel if they ever do something like that, or, you know, a different direction, just like a Pokemon trainer's journey. It doesn't even have to be Ash. Of course they were gonna probably do Ash or something just to get people in the seat. But I mean, like, I don't know, make up a new character. Make it like, I don't want to say that. I was to say, make it like Tom Holland or somebody, you know? Somebody popular. You can't make it like... I mean, you could make it like an adult. Maybe it'll be about a gym leader, you know? You could put Ryan Reynolds as the... No, you can't put Ryan Reynolds. Let's see, who else? Chris Pratt! Chris Pratt could be the gym leader! And it's all about his story in the Pokemon world. He's popular right now, right? Who else? I don't know. Anyway, point being, do something, you know? Make it happen, Warner Brothers. Come on, what else you got going on right now, for reals? So... yeah, I liked this movie. Until next time, you know, feel it in your jellies. And, I don't remember what my catch saying is. I'll go back and look at the old video. Something about movies and that's just a movie theory. I don't fucking know. I'll see you guys in the next one. Stick around for more game-related movies and movies in general, film stuff. Okay, Finn, bye.